All right, so OpenAI just dropped a bombshell. They've unveiled their first ever A-agent operator, and it's insane. Think about it. How much time do we waste every day? Work, home, life, it's just nonstop tasks. Emails, appointments, errands, research. It's like a never-ending to-do list, right? And let's be real, most of it is just boring, repetitive stuff that sucks the energy out of you. Now here's where it gets interesting. OpenAI's operator is built to tackle exactly that. All those mundane, repetitive tasks we hate. It's designed to handle them so we can focus on the stuff that actually matters. So what is Operator? How does it work? And why is everyone so hyped about it? Let's dive into the details.
Good morning. We've got something exciting for you today. We're going to launch our first agent. AI agents are AI systems that can do work for you independently. You give them a task and they go off and do it. We think this is going to be a big trend in AI and really impact the work people can do, how productive they can be, how creative they can be, what they can accomplish. We're starting today with Operator. Operator is a system that can use a web browser, in this case a web browser in the cloud, to accomplish tasks that you give it. And we'll show you a demo in just a second, but it's really quite cool what it can do. Just like you would use a web browser, you can get pixels in, you can look at a screen and control, an Operator can do that and then control the keyboard and the mouse and do all sorts of things. This is going to go live today in the United States for pro users, and it'll be other countries soon. Europe will unfortunately take a while, and we'll also in the coming months make it available to Plus users. This is an early research preview. We've got a lot of improvements to do. We'll make it better, we'll make it cheaper, we'll make it more widely available, but we really want to put it in people's hands. We'll also have more agents to launch in the coming weeks and months, but that said, we'll talk more later. So excited, just want to show you a demo. I'll hand it over to Yash.
Great, thanks Sam. Hi, I'm Yash, this is Casey, that's Ray, and we work on the computer using agent team. And we're so excited to show you Operator today. As Sam said, Operator is an early research preview. It will do a lot of cool things. It also makes mistakes, sometimes embarrassing ones. But let's show you what Operator can do. Okay, so this is the Operator homepage. It lives at operator.chatgpt.com. It'll be accessible as soon as the live stream is over. And as you can see, the interface is very similar to ChatGPT. You can type in a prompt, and an Operator will try to execute the task to the best of its capability. You'll also see we have a list of pre-filled prompts here. These are not really meant to be recommendations. These are meant to be things that, to give you an idea of what Operator can do. We have also collaborated with various brands like OpenTable, AllRecipes, StubHub, Uber, Thumbtack, DoorDash, eBay, Target, to make sure Operator really works well on these websites, but also we think users will find Operator very valuable in interacting with these platforms. So with that, let's jump in with a demo. Okay, so I'm going to start with something fairly simple. I'm going to use OpenTable and say, book me a table for 2 at Beretta tonight at 7 p.m. Okay.
And so you specifically chose OpenTable here.
Yeah, in this case, I'm asking Operator to use OpenTable to book a table for 2 at Beretta. Beretta is a restaurant in San Francisco. It's great. You should try it out. And at 7 p.m. And I'm using OpenTable in this case, but I could have easily said, just do Beretta, and it would have probably gone to search engine, figured out how to make a reservation as well. But let's see what it does.
So can you explain what's happening in this?
Yeah, right. So I'm going to expand this a little bit. So as soon as I typed in the query, Operator instantiated a completely remote browser. This browser is running in the cloud somewhere. And as you can see, it's already up and running. And my hands are off the keyboard. I'm not typing these things.
So this is just the AI's clicking around.
AI is just clicking around. It started this browser session. It knew where OpenTable website is, which is opentable.com. As you can see, it's summarized chain of thought here as well, which is it's gone to the URL, searched for Beretta, and something cool really happened, which is for some reason, OpenTable thought we were in Virginia, and it auto-corrected itself to San Francisco. This is using, so like ChatGPT, in Operator, you can also give custom instructions. So I'm going to show this really quickly here. Okay. So I've given a custom instruction that for queries that need it, I live in San Francisco. So Operator recognized that and then auto-corrected itself to go to Beretta. Okay, looks like 7 p.m. isn't available, but you know what? 7:45 is just fine. So we're going to go do that. So in this case, Operator came back, and this is a really good example of task delegation where Operator needs help or needs assistance or just wants to ask you something. It'll just come back and answer that query.
So in practice, you wouldn't have had to watch this. You could have just let it go off while you're doing other things, then it would come back and say, hey, I can't do 7:45.
Totally.
Yeah. Great.
And we're starting with a web app. You'll get notifications, etc. When Operator moves into mobile, you'll get mobile notifications, much like interactions we do with general apps. Okay, yes, that's great. Let's do it. Okay. So again, very simple interaction as you would have with an assistant, which is, hey, I found a reservation, 7 p.m. wasn't available, let's do 7:45. And again, you can see operator at this point has said, okay, should I? Again, this is a really good example of the confirmations work we're going to talk about a little bit later. But before doing an action, which is sort of irreversible in this case, we can cancel the reservation, obviously. But again, taking a critical action, operator is asking us before actually doing it. And in this case, I'm going to say, let's do it. Okay, it was pretty quick. I would say 50 seconds. And again, we were watching in this case, etc. But as Sam said,
you could kick off 10
kick
of
it off
these
and go on. Okay, so let's try something. Oh, unfortunately, that table is no longer available. So it's going to probably go and find alternative time slots. Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. That's never happened before.
Live demos, man.
Yeah, that's great. Let's do 8:15. Okay, while it's doing that, how about we try something a little bit more complicated?
Oh, with groceries.
Yeah, I love groceries. So I've been using Operator to shop all my groceries. I love to cook quite a bit. And I have been using Operator exclusively for groceries. So I have a shopping list here, which is this one. Let's see what it is. Eggs, spinach, mushrooms, chicken thighs, chili crunch.
And so this is a picture that you're uploading here.
That's exactly right. And I'm going to use Instacart, which is, again, what we use generally. Can you buy this for me, please? And I'll also specify the store I like, which is... Well, let's see if he figures out I mistyped it, but let's see. Okay, so in this case, again, Operator quickly actually recognized using GPT-4o's vision capabilities to understand that the image said egg, spinach, mushroom, chicken thighs, and it actually knew Gus's Market. And I'm like, yes, that sounds great. Cool. Again, just like OpenTable, it instantiated a browser, and it's going to go ahead and start doing tests. I'm going to expand the view, and let's see what it does.
So in both of these cases, you've said what you want it to use. If you just say, buy me these groceries and don't specify Instacart, what happens?
It will do a search, use a search engine, much like we do, and it'll find, Instacart or Gus's Directly website or whatever else is on the search engine, go through that, ask you questions if it needs clarifications, and go from there. I'm curious what's happening here, though, Ray. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
So now that you've seen a bit of Operator, let me talk a little about the research behind it. So Operator is based on a new model we've trained at OpenAI, which we're calling the Computer Using Agent, or CUA for short. So CUA is a model built off of GPT-4o, but it's also trained to use and control a computer in the same way that humans can by just looking at the screen and using a mouse and keyboard to control it. Before, if you wanted to build something like Operator without CUA, you'd need to use some specialized APIs. For example, if you wanted your model to buy stuff from Instacart, you'd need to figure out if Instacart had an API. You'd need to figure out if that API had all the functions that it needed, and you need to give your model the specs of that API. But if your site, like most other websites, did not have an API, then you're out of luck.
So this is just using screenshots, no API, nothing, just
no
working.
API, yes. And that's where CUA comes in. By teaching a model how to use the same basic interface that we use on a daily basis, it just unlocks a whole new range of software that it can use that was previously inaccessible.
And so this is keyboard and mouse, right? It's kind of using keyboard and mouse just
exactly.
like human would.
Yes. And that's really what the cool research project is about. It's about removing one more bottleneck in our path towards AGI and letting our agents move around and act in the digital.
But real talk here for a sec, okay? Automation on this scale, it ain't all sunshine and rainbows. We got to talk about jobs, point blank. Because, let's be honest, if these AI agents get as good as they're starting to look, a whole lot of jobs that are currently done by humans are, well, they're going to change. Maybe a lot. Maybe disappear. And you can't just gloss over that. We're not talking about robots taking over factory floors anymore. We're talking about AI potentially impacting white-collar jobs, service sector jobs, all sorts of jobs that involve routine tasks, information processing. It's a potential job market shakeup, no question about it. We're going to need to be proactive about retraining, about education, about supporting people through this transition. Because, new jobs will probably emerge. History shows us that, but it's not going to be automatic, and it's not going to be painless for everyone. We got to be responsible about how we handle this. Are you ready for the AI agent revolution? Or are you a little freaked out? Let's hear it in the comments below. Smash that like button if you dug this. Subscribe for more takes on all things AI. And I'll catch you in the next one.